So today, once I have everyone ready,
I'm here.
Eastside, water away. Five is still tracking. Brian is still tracking.
Sit down.
Kester is with me. Eastside marker away. Come on. Here, have a seat. Ahmad. Have a seat. Everything should be away. Everything should be away. So when we are all Ahmad and Lily.
3, 2, 1. Give it to me. Now. That's easy. Let go. Your mother.
Just like that. Perfect. Voices all. Try. So today we're gonna talk about our Thanksgiving. We're gonna compare and we're gonna contrast my Thanksgiving to your Thanksgiving. We're gonna compare and contrast Jada's Thanksgiving to Egypt's Thanksgiving. So we're gonna begin by doing a quick write. We have about 10 minutes to write about your Thanksgiving. We're gonna compare, but before that, I need voices off the desk still. We're gonna do a quick activity. We can get up and so we can get moving. So once everyone is in slant with their chairs down and tracking me, we'll get there. Just like Jada and Clyde and Brianna. Everyone's there. So quietly when I say go. Quickly and quietly stand up. Go to your desk. Go to your desk. 10 minutes. Let's sit down and try again. Too many voices. Too much chairs. Quickly. Sit down, back. Let's try it again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bottoms.
Left.
Backs.
Straight.
Voices.
Off.
Caleb, that's $1. So, let's try it again. Last time I said stand up quickly, quietly, and I heard too many chairs. Come on. Latrell. Have seats. Latrell. Have a seat. Quickly and quietly, when I say go. Stop. Caleb. All voices should be off right now. Caleb Jones, go to the back of the class. That's $1, Latrell. Stop. Caleb Jones, I said the back of the class. Go. So, let's quickly and quietly stand up now. Jada is quietly standing up. Amara is there. Egypt is there. Imani is there. So, this is how it's going to work. I want to ask you something about your Thanksgiving and how you celebrate your Thanksgiving, but we all need to be standing still. To ask you how you celebrate your Thanksgiving. And if that's how you celebrate your Thanksgiving, then you're going to do the exercise that I said. So we're going to start off. I'll give you guys a little example. So, If you celebrated Thanksgiving at your house, jump 3 times. So we see East Side, Clyde, and Asante, they all celebrate Thanksgiving at their house, so they jump 3 times. If you celebrated Thanksgiving at someone else's house, do 3 toe touches. 1, 2, 3. All right, back in hall. East Side is there. Marcus is there. All right. Do 5 jumping jacks if you ate turkey for Thanksgiving.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And back in hall. If you didn't do it, just stand there and watch everyone else to see how we celebrate our Thanksgivings differently. So, do 3 squats. Daje gave me this one before she left. Do 3 squats if you eat mac and cheese. And back on, where's the ball? Caleb Jones. I'm glad you're excited, bud. And our last one. Run in place for 5 seconds if you did not celebrate Thanksgiving. So everyone celebrated Thanksgiving. And now, let's quickly. And quiet. We're still in hall. Mamara is there. Marcus is there. My 2 friends over here. East side. Quickly and quietly, sit down now. So, I'm going to pass out a paper to you guys right now, and we're going to take 7 minutes. We're going to take 7 minutes to write about how we celebrate Thanksgiving. How we celebrate Thanksgiving. Be sure to talk about who you celebrate Thanksgiving with. Be sure to tell about what you eat and the different traditions that you guys have. So once you get your paper, start writing quietly. Let's remember, we're silent. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I need all voices off. Marcus, tell us what you were about to do. What are we about to do? Hold on. Everyone, Marcus is speaking. Everyone's voices off and their pencils are down. I need voices off and pencils down. Still waiting on my friends on the left to put their pencils down. Tracking Marcus. What are we about to do, Marcus? We're going to write about Thanksgiving. And are we doing this with someone else or by yourself? And are we quiet? Or are we silent, I should say? Yes. Silent. So I shouldn't hear any voices. Go. Timer has started. So make sure you're writing not about what you did over Thanksgiving break, but about what you did during the day of Thanksgiving. What you ate, who you celebrated with, where did you go, things like that. Make sure this is thoughtful writing because we're going to share out with the class when we come back. In about 3 more minutes. If I see you guys doing a crossword puzzle, it's going to be an auto 5. More seconds. Voices are off. 20 more seconds. Pencils down.
Put it down.
Pencils down.
Do it now!
Jada's pencils down. Santi, pencils down. Still waiting on a couple more pencils. I know you guys are excited right about Thanksgiving, but let's put it down. Each from Miriam. Leah. So, right now, it seems like we're all paired off. You're gonna. So, we're gonna do a turn and talk with your partners. If you're closest to the window from your partner, raise your hand. You guys, it's gonna be you three. Closest to the window. Raise your hands. You guys are gonna start first. You're gonna have 10, 15 seconds to talk about your Thanksgiving with your partner, and then we're gonna switch. Quietly, in your restaurant voice. I don't want to hear you all the way over here. I'll be around. Go. Hold on. Freeze. Freeze. You guys went to talk right away. I liked it. It was excellent, and it was perfect volume. Go. All right, and now the person who's closest to me, it's your turn to share. 15 seconds. Same volume. Go. All right, everyone tracking me. Chairs pushed in. Feet flat, hands folded. Tracking me. My two friends up here. You two and you two. On point. Who's got the clipboard?
Me!
Give you 4 a bonus. You and your partner are Caleb and Ahmad. All right, looks like everyone is there. So, we're gonna go to my handy dandy randomizer, and if your name is called, then you're gonna share out what you and your partner talked about. So, share out what you talked about for Thanksgiving. Quiet. Hold on. Let's remember. I read the name, you guys track. You guys don't read the name. Let's try it again. What did you talk about during Thanksgiving? Quiet.
At Thanksgiving, I went to my family's store called Hot Dog Century.
Your family has a store? Oh, nice.
And I ate mac and cheese, turkey, potato salad, and we had a dance off. And I won. And my cousin Raheem, the owner, has a dog, and he put on music, and we listened to Ooh. It was the best party ever.
That sounds like a poppin' Thanksgiving. I'm coming to your house next year. All right. What did you read? What did you talk about, Zayon?
Missed it.
I went to my uncle's house with my family for Thanksgiving, and then after that, I went to my dad's house, and we had macaroni and cheese, rice, ribs,
Oxtail.
oxtail, chicken, and cake. And then after that, after all that, we went to Chicago and then watch football.
Action-packed Thanksgiving. All right, we'll take one more. Hands down.
No.
Your fate lays in the hands of the randomizer. Two people around here. Kimani.
Brianna.
Oh, I said Kimani before I turned it. Kimani.
I ate pumpkin pie with
goodness. All right, bring it back, track. Listen.
I played bingo
Bye-bye.
and football.
Nice. Backs. Chairs. Question. Chairs. Hands. Voices. Tracking.
Mr. Andrew.
Two extra. Sit up. Stop. Check. Quiet. Check. Don't speak again. So, now that we learned about our Thanksgiving, we saw that Kwayat had a dance competition. Kimani played foosball. Zayon had oxtail. You see how Andy went to Sky Zone. So, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's remember, we're not calling out. Thank you, Brianna, for still being there. And Kimani's are still there. So, now that we talked about how our Thanksgivings are similar and different, I already told you guys last week or before Thanksgiving how I celebrated mine. I went to my brother's and what I made. Cornbread casserole, yeah. So now we're going to learn about the very first Thanksgiving. Kester, Brianna, we're going to learn about the very first Thanksgiving and how they celebrated and how it came about. Bottoms, backs, hands. Let's try it again because I only had one up here who said it, so we'll give him a bonus. Bottoms, backs, hands, tracking. Okay, let's fix this. You guys know it's tracking you. So tracking. All
Your
right.
voice, sir, is off. Turn it off. Both of you.
Layout, tracking. So, just to preface this, to give you an idea of what this is about, it's about the Pilgrims when they left England. They set sail, and on their journey there was a bad storm, and they got thrown off track. So when when they finally landed in the new world, they weren't what they expected, and it was winter. And then we'll see what happens from there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Our voices are still off, though. Lay out. Hit the lights. But I can't start until everyone's voice is off. Thank you, Jada. First, she's silent. Egypt is silent. Kwayat is silent. Jamad, check. Zayon. Isa, put it away, that's a dollar.
Stop faking! Be quiet!
Our voices are off, Morehouse. I should not hear anyone else. From now on, if I hear voices, out of turn, it's going to be $1. We're shouting out too much. I have the video on, it's ready to go. Let's pay attention and quietly, listen. And at this point, pencils away, we do not need them. Caleb, $1. Voices.
Hi, I'm Mary Chilton, and I am one of the original pilgrims who survived a year of famine to celebrate the first Thanksgiving in the New World. After arriving in the New World, the first thing we needed to do was to write a document that would guide our new society. The men gathered together and wrote the Mayflower Compact. Every man who had traveled aboard the Mayflower signed the agreement on November 21st, 1620. Soon after the Mayflower Compact was signed, the men went exploring to find a place where we could build our new homes.
Pause. I think I got the wrong one.
After trade and communication between Europe and the Americas began following Columbus's voyage in 1492, many
So now I had the right one. Let's bring it back. Our voices are still off. East side. That's $1. We're not shouting, calling out. We're not speaking.
Europeans began to seek opportunities in the New World. One such group, now known as the Pilgrims, sailed from England to North America in 1620. Some of them wanted to sail to America because they thought they could make money there. Some of them were looking for greater religious freedoms. They all thought that a new life in a new land could give them what they were looking for. In the summer of 1620, a ship called the Mayflower, as well as a second ship called the Speedwell, set sail from England towards the Americas. Shortly after their journey began, however, the Speedwell sprang a leak, and they had to stop to make repairs. They set sail again, but they had only traveled a few hundred miles from England when the Speedwell began leaking again, forcing both ships to return to Plymouth. By then, it was September, and the Pilgrims decided to abandon the Speedwell. Some of the Speedwell's passengers moved onto the Mayflower, and some decided to stay in England. On September 6, 1620, the Mayflower set sail a third time for the Americas. Around 130 people were crammed onto the small Mayflower. About 100 were passengers, 70 adults, and 30 children. The rest were the ship's crew. There were animals on board the Mayflower as well: pigs, goats, chickens, and even some pet dogs. The ship was only 106 feet or 32 meters long and 25 feet or 7.5 meters wide, so the voyage was extremely crowded. When the weather was bad, the passengers had to stay below deck while the ship rocked and tilted in the waves. Many people were sick for the entire trip. 2 people died, and 1 baby was born while they crossed the ocean.
So this is
For
their
those
journey
who
all the
were
way to
well,
the new land.
it must have been a long and boring journey. Some passengers read books or played card games, but by the time they arrived in the New World, they must have been very glad for the voyage to end. Land was sighted on November 9th, but there was a problem. They had landed too far north. The original destination of the Mayflower was supposed to be Virginia, but storms and rough seas had blown them off course, so they had landed at what is now Massachusetts. They tried to sail south, but by now the winter weather had made the seas stormy, and so they decided to stay, and anchored in the harbor at Cape Cod on November 11th. They looked around for a good place to settle, and by December they had moved to a place they named Plymouth. The first winter in the New World was a terrible one for the passengers of the Mayflower. They were not prepared for the cold weather. They did not have enough food. Terrible sicknesses came. By the time the spring of 1621 came, only about half of the passengers and crew were still alive. In April, the Mayflower and her crew returned to England, leaving the Pilgrims to try and survive alone. They might all have died that year, if it were not for the help they received from the Native Americans that lived in their area. One man in particular, named Squanto, taught the English settlers many things that they needed to know. He taught them how to plant corn, how to fish, and how to live in their new home. He knew how to speak English and helped interpret for the settlers and the Wampanoag tribe so that they could speak to each other. That fall, there was a good harvest and plenty of food. The Pilgrims had a celebration that lasted for 3 days, and they invited their new friends, the Wampanoags, to celebrate with them. This feast is often called the First Thanksgiving. I hope you enjoyed learning the story of the Mayflower and the First Thanksgiving today. Goodbye till next time.
Make sure our feet are still flat. Chairs pushed in. Pushing your chairs. Hands on your desks. Lay up. Lights. Thank you, Clyde. He's there. Kimani is there. Waist is off. Latrell. Sit. Latrell. So, right now we're going to do a couple turn and talks. We're going to use our same partners. Lay on, have a seat. We're going to use our same partners. So, I'm going to read you the question, and then when I say go, we are going to turn and talk with our partners. Our first question is, what was the experience of traveling across the ocean like for the Pilgrims who came to America? So remember, we're in our restaurant voices. Go. What was the experience, I'm sorry, I'll read it again. What was the experience of traveling across the ocean like for Pilgrims who came to America from England? Bring it back in 3, 2, 1. And voices off, tracking me. Go. And so, we'll go back to our, once I have all voices up, we'll go back to my friend, the randomizer. And put our voices off. So, what was the journey like for them? Ahmad. Tracking Ahmad. What did you guys talk about? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
We talked about them going to a long destination where they met their friends.
Okay, anyone want to build on? Hands down.
I know it
Jada.
was